Good to go.
And take a big one.
Okay, you're good to go.
Great. Okay, so, let's call to order the Central Oregon Community College Board of Directors meeting for Wednesday, September 10th. We will start off, as we usually do, with the COCC, Native Lands Acknowledgement. COCC would like to acknowledge that the beautiful land our campuses reside on are the original homelands of the Wasco and the Warm Springs people. They ceded this land to the U.S. government in the Treaty of 1855. The Paiute people were forcibly moved to the Warm Springs Indian Reservation starting in 1879. It is also important to note that the Klamath Trail ran north through this region to the Great Celilo Falls trading grounds. Descendants of these original people are thriving members of our communities today. We acknowledge and thank the original stewards of this land. Okay. So next on the agenda, we have a roll call.
Yep, thank you. Erica Scaffold,
Here.
Jim Porter, present. Laura Kraska Cooper, here. Joe Krenowitz.
He's not here.
Alan Unger, here. Aaron Murs,
Here.
Aaron Foot Morgan.
Here.
Greg Pereira, here. Zach Boone, here. Laura Bomey,
Here.
Alicia Moore,
Here.
Anne Marie Hamlin,
Here.
Michael Lalonde, here. Amy Ward,
Here.
Josh Blossom, here. Cindy Leonard,
Here.
Paul Taylor, here. Kyle Matthews, here. And Lucas Alberg, present. Good to go.
You had to add in the present at the end. So, yeah.
Just in case I couldn't hear myself.
Very good. Thank you, Lucas.
I didn't know I needed for posterity.
Okay. Okay, so next on the agenda, we have agenda changes. Does anyone have any agenda changes? And then after that, public comment. Lucas, do we have any?
There is no public comment.
Okay. And now we're moving on to the consent agenda. So we have our regular meeting minutes. Any questions or comments, or would somebody like to make a motion?
I have a question. I've watched the meeting. Can I vote? Okay, I don't have to abstain if I missed a meeting. Thank you. That's all.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? So all those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand and or.
Aye.
Aaron online. And all those opposed say nay. Okay. So everyone present voted. Yes, in favor. Minus Joe, who's not here. Okay, so next up, we have information items. So first up is the monthly budget status. Would you like to say anything about it?
No, we're just a couple of months in, so.
Okay. All right.
I got a question. So I'm looking at the monthly budget status, and in the revenues, we got transfers in, and so this month we have $2,800. Now, that comes out of the monthly budget status, the non-general. Where does it come from? I was looking through the non-general funds and I go, I can't add it up.
So in your budget packet, we didn't hand that out tonight, did we, Kyle?
No, the budget document, yeah, I got it.
Oh, you do have that. There's a source where all those transfers are made into the general fund. So they have transfers in, or where they came from, and transfers out,
Okay.
and where they go to.
So I was just curious this month where the 2,800, so I could kind of understand.
I can get back to you on that.
That's okay.
I know more about the transfers, out. But not as much about the transfers.
Okay. They all look good.
Do we have any more questions from people? Okay, so we'll move on to the new hire reports. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Laura, or Laura, would you like to say?
Steady hiring as usual.
Great, it is very good. Okay. So move along, and then now we're to the Redmond campus update. So we have Amy Ward, Michael Wilmot, Josh Clausen. Cindy Linhart, and then,
Angie's not here tonight.
okay. And thank you for submitting the slides ahead of time with the written notes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was really nice.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So welcome to Redmond campus. This is the Redmond campus Bobcat, which has a really special attitude and a lot of, I'd say it's a very sassy Bobcat. So thank you for being here. It's always fun to have the board here, and I'm really excited to kick off with, I think it's gonna be a fantastic academic year. What's the next slide, please? What's really special about Redmond campus is we are a hub for CTE programs. We have several anchor programs here, our apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship. If you're here after 5 during the academic year, it is crazy. There are all sorts of plumber work vans. We've got the electricians here, in addition to our regular transfer and non-credit classes. So this place is a totally different place in the evening. Manufacturing technology, which you'll hear more about in the second half of this presentation, but that's located in this building with welding and machining. Nearby is the veterinary technicians building, which is now running 2 cohorts, new cohort every year. So that program is growing and thriving. They have a really high completion rate and excellent job placement rate. And then we also have other programs that are offered in Redmond, automotive technology, fire science, and paramedicine. And it's really fun to see the evening paramedicine classes with the students on the gurneys. One time, Dr. Chesley actually thought that there was an accident. We have our community health worker core program that happens here, which is also a really engaged group of students that come through early childhood education. I am sure that I'm missing a couple, so I apologize to those programs, but we have a lot of CTE in addition to our transfer classes. Next slide. I really like this. So this was from about a week ago. Enrollment continues to trend upwards. Right now, we're looking at our credit FTE is about 88.02, an 8.1% increase from this time last year, with a total of FTE 92.53 students. We have advising and registration next week, so we'll see this continue to grow, and then we'll have more community education and non-credit enrollments too. So enrollment keeps going up, and I am continuing our work, as all of the branch campus directors are, to work with department chairs to build a strong schedule, the right classes at the right times, so that students can build a full schedule and really move forward towards completing their degrees. And we have a ton of great student services in Redmond. And that includes advising, the Clothing Connection, which launched last year, and we're continuing to work to get students in there to access resources, the computer lab, representatives from e-learning, financial aid, the food pantry, the multicultural center, Thrive, tutoring and testing. Math tutoring does big business here. The student commons and library services and our Sept program. Advising is about twice a week. Financial aid is about once a week. E-learning about twice a week. We'd love to grow that as we continue to grow our student presence here. And then I'm really excited. We are hiring and have hired a new position in Redmond. It's a part-time campus safety support person. It's not, this is Hannah. She works full-time in Redmond, or sorry, she works full-time in Bend. Our new hire is Daniel Yates. He has just completed his background check and is officially hired, and will be doing his training and onboarding. And he'll be here usually in the evenings, Monday through Thursday. So that's a time where we don't always have a regular administrative or classified staff. So someone to secure all of our buildings, to they'll take our campus EV and drive out to Vet Tech and make sure it's secure there. They'll be checking exterior doors. And he'll be a presence here and a resource for faculty if they want someone to walk them to their car as they're leaving, make sure that we're all buttoned up. He's a really nice guy. He's quite tall, so I think he'll be a really wonderful visible presence. And I told him when I hired him, the goal of this job is for you to get your steps in, right? We want you to be out and about and being seen. He has a little bit of a background in education, so I think it's gonna be a good fit. And then my last slide is to invite you all, I'm on the board of Redmond Economic Development, READY, which provides economic development for the Redmond area. And we are hosting their annual News and Brews event here here on the Redmond campus in RTech 209 on Wednesday, October 29th. This event will focus with a panel on crafting an emerging workforce with an agenda that includes a panel roundtable with Dan Kernian, the manufacturing instructor at Redmond High School, one of our faculty from COCC Manufacturing Technology Program, and someone from OSU Cascades, hopefully their innovation district. And have a moderator from someone in the personnel industry. And then they'll do a company spotlight on one of Redmond's local trades. It's a fun, kind of casual networking event. So we're excited to host that and bring all of those people here. I always think when we have folks on the Redmond campus from the community, it's a nice win. So that is my very short Redmond campus presentation, and then we'll go into a more detailed story about the building 3 expansion.
So the purpose of the presentation today is to give everybody an update of why we're doing the Redmond expansion. What are we doing for the Redmond expansion? What the long-term impact is to our financials for MATC. It was going to culminate in our request to have a resolution approved by you so that we can do an alternate way of RFP. So we can bring on a CMGC early to help us with the process and for that firm to actually go out for RFP. Unfortunately, we found out that we were supposed to publish in at least one trade newspaper of general statewide circulation, a minimum of 14 days prior to today, before you made a decision about that alternate method of contracting. So we will have to postpone that resolution to either next month or an emergency meeting if that would be convenient to you all.
Special.
Or not emergency. All right, sorry. All right, turn it over to you, Cindy.
Yeah, do we have a slide? I hope.
This was just a presentation.
So there's, yeah, the data. It looks like this. My first email too, I sent you two, and then I think.
Give me, yeah, I'll see if I can dig it up as well. We just.
But it's not me digging up.
Amy, what time does that start on the 29th?
I think it starts at 4. I can get, once tickets are on sale, I can get information to Kyle to send out to all.
while we're waiting for Lucas to bring that up, I'll start us out a little bit. You should have this in your packet. But for this presentation, we're going to briefly discuss the demand for manufacturing jobs by our industry partners and how that demand translates into higher wage jobs. We'll look at the program and facility challenges and proposed solutions. We will explore our proposed expansion plan, so you'll get a look to see what we think the new expansion is going to look like. We'll take a brief look at costs and funding sources. We'll also take a quick look at some analysis of the financial implications. And then obviously the resolution will be postponed. So I wanted to show a slide of really the manufacturing. There we go. Okay, so slide 3. Great. No worries. So I want to take a minute to talk a little bit about the demand for jobs. So if you read the newspaper, you may have heard a little bit across the nation about a decline in manufacturing jobs. And there is some of that. That's generally due to some trade uncertainties as well as productivity shifts. If you've been in the industry for a long time, you may have some old infrastructure and you're having to do automation and AI, and that's starting to change the way that manufacturing jobs are done. However, in Central Oregon, we're defying some of those national trends. And COCC has an opportunity to meet the growing demand for workforce. This is a source from the Oregon Employment Department, specifically for Crook, Deschutes, and Jefferson County from 2022 to 2032. And it looks at the increase in manufacturing jobs that are available. If you go on Indeed or any employment website, you will see a huge need for manufacturing jobs. We have new industry coming into the area. We have established industry, BaseX, Epic Aircraft, Nosler, lots of new business and industry that Ready is bringing in billions of dollars, as well as lots of jobs. So we sit at in a little bit different place than nationally, because Redmond is really poised to grow with the airport and all of the other industry that's coming to Central Oregon. Wild Mike's Ultimate Pizza is expanding, and there's lots of those kinds of things that are happening. So if you go on, you'll see lots of welders, machining, CNC machining, a lot of those kinds of jobs. If you go to the next slide, what's the average wages that our graduates could expect? One of the things that we're facing in Central Oregon is really a workforce shortage of skilled workers, right? We have a somewhat growing population, but we really need some skilled workers, and that's what our industry partners are looking at. They're looking for people who know how to run CNC machines, who know how to weld in different ways, from construction into manufacturing. And this is why our manufacturing programs are not only important, but essential, especially when you think about how we're poised to really grow in terms of the region, but also the need for our facilities, as well as our faculty and our curriculum, to really meet those demands. And so it's critical that we really think about what we can position ourselves to be over the next 5 to 10 years in the manufacturing industry. And I'll turn it over to Amy.
Okay. So I want to start by clarifying the language a little bit. When we talk about manufacturing, we tend to use the acronym MATC, which is the Manufacturing and Applied Technology Center. And we want to be careful about that and really talk about manufacturing technology when we're talking about the program. This program has had some challenges, and it has not really enjoyed a fantastic reputation in the past. We know that. You can't tell me anything about this program that someone from the community hasn't said to my face. It used to be a self-paced format, which was affordable for the college and was designed for older students who had already developed a level of work ethic and employability skills. Our demographic is different. It is generally young people, ages 18 to 24. who thrive on some structure, and employers say we want people who can show up on time and be reliable and solve problems. And the program did not expect that of our students. Welding and machining is a skill. You get better at a skill by practicing it consistently over time. So that format also really burned out our faculty, and we have had a lot of turnover in the past. We've had people leaving in the middle of the academic year. It's been really hard to attract and hold on to good family because there wasn't, what Greg was talking about today, a good work-life balance for folks. And student learning was just not meeting the workforce needs. We had students who thought they knew what they were doing and were getting into jobs and finding out that they actually weren't quite ready for that. So that's where we've been. And then if you can click ahead, please, Lucas, this is what our solutions are. So we have moved fully to scheduled instruction. Students are expected to come to lectures and then go to labs on time and be prepared, ready to learn. We have hired some excellent new faculty. All of our faculty is new since 2023. We hired 2 more new full-time faculty just this year. So we've got 4 full-timers and we're building a really strong cohort of part-time and specialized faculty as well. And we have done faculty has done and will continue to do expansive curriculum improvements. So we are increasing the academic rigor. We are making sure that learning outcomes meet workforce needs, and that our curriculum is matching industry standards. Slide, yeah, and then the facility is also a challenge right now, and I'm happy to walk anyone through the space sometime, especially once school starts again. It's just not equipped to meet workforce demands. We have a lack of space and a lack of sufficient equipment. And those 2 challenges really hamstring our class capacity. Our labs don't meet industry standards. We have really expensive CNC equipment. This is precision equipment. It should be on concrete that is 12 inches thick. That is not what we have right now. And it's like right next to an exterior door with cold air that can blow in on this $100,000 machine, and the floor is cracking underneath. Our space is too small, and so students struggle to make large projects and large scale projects and things that you want to take home and share, or just big fabrication projects that would be relevant to industry. And there's no space for new equipment, so we're limited. We could have more students, but we're limited by the amount of time and the amount of equipment that we have in the space. So yeah, and this will show you. Imagine putting like 40 students, or even this is our CNC lab where we also park our forklift, and you can imagine just having like 8 students in here, and they're sharing equipment and they're like looking to see what's going on the equipment. It's a lot. Our faculty does a really good job working with what we have, but we could do a lot better with more space. So. Can I do my own thing, please? All right, so just to orient everybody to talk about the limits of the current space, our labs aren't ADA compliant. I already talked about our weak floors, tiny spaces, no space for large scale projects. We're limited to bring in new equipment. We've got equipment in storage. We've got equipment off-site at other shops. We have 14 welding booths, and they don't all run the same welding processes. So some of our welding classes our advanced welding classes cap out at 6. We have a wait list in some of our advanced welding classes. So that means students struggle to move forward in their studies. And we really struggle with storage for our materials and our consumables. And there's just not a lot of room to grow and expand. So we will fix all of that with the new building. And I want to just run through before I hand it over to Josh, the benefits of expansion. We're looking at 13,000 additional square feet. This will triple that will bring in more welding booths, more space for fabrication. It will about triple our CNC, which is really, I think, the most important part of our machining side of the program. We'll keep our manual machining space, but we'll add in quality assurance, product development and design, larger pool room, and more indoor and outdoor storage. It's gonna be a game changer. So 13,000 square feet of addition, 8,000 square feet of remodeling our existing space. We'll have indoor storage, better tool room, 3 times as many weld booths, bigger CNC and fabrication space, improved gas storage. We have issues with leaks and transfers, so that will be better. Dedicated space for product design and quality control, an outdoor work area right here. So that'll be we're really excited. Faculty is really excited about that detail. Outdoor storage, additional restrooms and industrial sinks, and room to grow so the program can continue to grow with our region.
Amy, can I ask a question?
Yes,
To what extent is this materially different from the last time that we sort of saw the plans?
oh, it's better. It is.
I hope that's true. I just like, can you kind of tell us the highlights of like what's different?
This plan makes it so that we can continue instruction in this building during.
During construction?
So we don't have to move the program. Our CNC, we'll keep running like we are. We'll add those 13,000 square feet. We'll very carefully move our CNC equipment into the new space while the interior existing space is remodeled. So it's less disruption of the program. It's, I think, a bigger and better space and a more affordable design. So, yeah.
Yeah, one of the iterations that we go through like 8 different
Yeah.
models here. Oh, and Amy and Cindy and their team have been amazing to work with. So anytime we needed information, they were right there. We had the instructors come in, we got, on the ground information from them. It was really good. One thing that happened, and it always does, when you get people who, live this and like that, they always ask for more than they actually, because, sky's the limit, let's do it. So, what we did is we are building the budget. And we're not, we're keeping modularity in there. We're keeping it so we're maintaining the space for the programs. We're building in future infrastructure, and what we're doing here is this existing space, we're going to maintain it while we're building this new addition. And we're gonna be bringing the infrastructure over there. And then over a summer, we're going to move all the CNC machines, all the welding booths and all of that, bring them online, and then in fall, we'll have the program working in here. And so that'll be kind of our phase 1. And that's actually the lion's share of this project. The concrete is thicker, there's a lot of power, there's data, there's whatever, and it's all in a modular fashion where they can reconfigure those spaces over a summer, just have a completely different program. So, and then we're not limited by technology. So right now, we're very locked into power coming all out of the floor in concrete, you can't move anything around, kind of stuck the way you go. So as CNC, technology changes, as welding technology changes, this building can change right along with it. Next slide.
Yeah, these are your slides.
Where's there you go, yeah. There we go. Okay, so once phase 1 is completed, like I said, we're gonna relocate these 3 programs into that space. And then we've got phase 2. So this is going to be operational. And then we're gonna move in here and do interior remodels of these spaces. And then in the next summer, we're gonna split everything out there. And these become operational. What the students and staff will be able to access the existing part of the building here and in here without very much interruption. This is actually going to go pretty quick and be fairly quiet. The spaces are open right now, open to structure, the ceilings are open, stuff like that. We just need to actually fill in what we need for these other spaces. Any questions? Or
What does it take to move all the equipment around?
actually big forklifts and lots of people. There's companies who they're called rigging companies, and that they're entire job is moving CNC machines. So in previous designs, we were going to move this equipment off-site, maybe to our tech, doing something, and then we'd have to move it all over again. So what we've done now is, through the help of the architect and our team, is we just, cut that completely out. We're moving it one time. So we're limiting the amount of, possible damage to the equipment, we're downtime, money, all sorts of things.
Moving CNC machines is, I understand it's risky.
It is
If
risky.
it's not done well, then the machine never operates.
Yeah, so on a CNC machine, if you were to drop it, literally the machine is garbage. There's just so many servos and, precision equipment in there that, yeah, it's a complete loss, so.
Good luck.
Yeah, I've actually done a lot of it, so I'm
Okay.
I'm comfortable with it, but yeah.
Our faculty is gonna be really hands-on.
So the total cost of this project is 8 million, and the 8 million will come from 4 million from the college and a 4 million match from HEC. In the budget for the 2026 fiscal year, we have 2.3 million from the college and 1.7 million in fiscal year 27 projected. So, but the 4 million match from HEC is very beneficial, and we're on target, 8 million, looking good.
Yeah, no, this is 8 million all in,
All in?
not 8 million plus
No,
whatever, yeah.
right. Right. Hey, it's all 8 million.
That's always been the case, that's why I'm saying. Pointing it out.
Careful, Clausen.
So Cindy, Angie, and Amy, did 3 different scenarios on forecasting enrollment. So 24-25, there's 420 seats taken. The total program net loss was 455,000, which is a loss of 1,000 per seat taken. So the tuition fees only covered 30% of total costs. So as the program is projected to grow 628 seats in 26, 150% growth, we are going to spend a little bit of money, but the cost per student is actually going down a little bit and still projecting about 30% of total costs covered. Now, in these scenarios, what we need to do is adjust the program fees to what the costs actually are. Right now, we charge a minimum amount
$50.
and it should be 500.
It costs $500 a class per student for the welding material.
Materials, the consumable.
The consumable.
3 credit class or something, or?
It's a 4 class.
So we will begin increasing the program fees, is that what you're calling program fees for this program over the course of the next 5 years, not all in one big jump, but slightly over every year until we get it right size. And by that time, our program net will be 435, actually less than it started with only 420 students. But the net dollars lost per seat is $418, and tuition and fees will cover 60% of total cost. And as an average for the college, we're about 56%. Tuition and fees covering faculty as well as supply. So we make good progress. Any questions about this?
Materials, so how has the cost gone up recently? With, have tariffs affected it?
Yes.
When we make an estimate like that many years out, are we pretty confident in it, or?
We're predicting an increase each year in the cost of materials that will go up. It's uncertain right now for what those costs are actually gonna be. I do know that the faculty have a lot of industry partners who donate a lot of material. And so we can offset some of those costs with some of that donation in material, but yeah, it is expensive to buy that steel.
So the state, this $4 million has been in their budget. They've gone through 2 budgets while that's been kind of on their radar, and usually they don't sell those bonds to the end of the 2-year cycle. Have they already sold them and they got the money sitting there, or
They do.
are we gonna have to wait till then?
They do, they have.
Okay,
That's all it is. They give us a report every month about how much we've used the report.
oh,
And right now, it's just a tiny bit.
great.
I got a quick
Yeah.
question. Quick question.
We already have dedicated money.
We do. So, we have the bonds sold by the state, and then we had to set aside $4 million in a separate account at the local government investment pool. And so we have a separate account with $4 million in it, and we had to show that to HEC to prove that we had the money. So that is set aside in a separate account, although it is shown in our total cash balance on our financial statement.
Good job.
Yeah, Aaron.
Aaron Morgan?
No, I'm looking at Jim though to see if he got his question answered.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you feel like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
answered
Did
it?
you?
Okay. Okay, Aaron, but Morgan, we heard you.
Yeah, just a quick question. Amy, you were talking about, when folks come into this program, into our programs, they may not have a lot of job training or understanding of more of those softer skills. And I was curious if we are I just don't know, do we offer those kinds of classes for folks coming out of these programs, just more around how to succeed in the workplace, in like workforce positions? What does that look
Yeah.
like?
A great question. And so we have embedded employability skills into our curriculum in many ways. Part of that is just expecting students to show up every day on time, prepared, and they're partially graded on their participation. Working on communication skills and problem solving skills. Industry is so hungry for employees right now that they will just take a warm body that can set an alarm clock. Like that's what they'll say. But then if you have someone that can actually think critically and communicate and problem solve, you get phone calls saying, send me more of those folks. So that's one part, is just embedding it into our curriculum. And then we also have an integrated education training. We partner with Adult Basic Skills. We have an instructor who is going to be embedded. She's done welding classes, she's done manual machining classes. I think this year she's going to be embedded in our print reading class, which is our largest full-term class of 25 students. And they really handle some complex math problems. And so she makes sure, she finds out, she's with the students taking the class, she sees where they are snagging on these concepts, and then provides a manufacturing success study hour after class for anyone in the program who wants to come in and get help with manufacturing program questions, or with their math or their writing or their communication requirements as well for our students who are participating in their AA.
I will add to it as well that based on some advisory board surveys that we've done, one of the biggest requests besides showing up is safety protocol. They want people who are safe on the job, and that is in every single class. A big lesson at the beginning of every class about safety and safety protocol. It's drilled into the students. They know how to handle the machine safely, and so that's another skill that's happening.
Yeah, and faculty is always talking about safety. It's not lip service. It's something that they are really talking about.
Did that answer for you, Erin?
Thank you.
Yep.
When do you start?
Well, that's a good question. We need a special meeting.
So you gotta get the contractor on board and then we're moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Steel and Associates, we're through design development right now with the architecture. So we just need to get a contractor on board, really, because this existing building is a pre-manufactured metal building. So all the trusses, everything, we can't expand that until we have a contractor on board to buy off on that design. So, yeah.
So should we talk about the resolution at all and the finding of facts? Would that be an issue? No? We shouldn't? Okay. I
Wait.
see you shaking your head.
Any more questions?
Looks great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very exciting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very, thank you. If you wanna see people that are really excited, you gotta come and talk to our faculty about it.
Amy, can I ask you, what's the difference between seats taken and full-time equivalent students?
Seats taken is, if I am enrolled in 4 classes, I'm taking 4 seats.
Okay.
And full-time equivalent is taking all of the students, and, oh gosh, thank you.
Yeah.
Very amorphous concept we've talked about a lot. In Oregon, one FTE is equal to 510 clock hours. That, there's no way to do math, don't try. I swear. There's no way to say one student taking 12 credits for 3 terms, it doesn't add up, but it's a number that several states have used for decades. So when you see, I'm gonna make up, say there's 500 FTE, that doesn't mean full-time equivalent, even though that's what it's called, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean 500 full-time students. It just means there's 500 students who took 510 clock, or some combination of students who took 510 clock hours 500 times. I don't know. I
A
just.
clock hour means an hour in.
Each hour a class is offered,
Okay.
so typically a 3 credit class is 3 clock hours.
Okay.
It's a really odd formula and we're not the only state to do it, but doesn't always make
There must
sense.
be some rationale somewhere, but okay.
I have even asked our state fiscal and they don't understand
We've
it.
always done that.
It just is.
Yeah.
It just is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, nice job.
Okay, so next up on the agenda is new business. And so we have a request for proposal for the Redmond campus remodel. We just touch that. That's special. That's our
That's
special.
special.
That's what I thought. Okay. So the Board of Directors operations. So first up, we have a fall retreat update. So we met on Saturday. And talked about priorities for Greg for this upcoming year. And so there's some consolidating, working on it, and coming, Greg will bring them back to us that we will actually approve them in a board meeting. So everybody will be able to see those coming up, but we had some good conversations and feel like we were able to understand each other a little bit better and give some good direction to Greg. Is there anything that anybody would like to add or?
I thought you guys did a great job planning it.
Thank you.
Well done. Erica, when would you like us to send you any of our follow-up things? Just those agenda topics or any of our board goal thoughts?
Definitely. I will prompt you for those. So I need to send out an email today. It from Saturday to now has just been a blur, so I will try to get those out no later than this weekend, the prompting email.
Sounds
We
great.
did have some follow-up items. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we're moving on to committee updates. So first up, we have the advocacy committee.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about some changes to our charge, and this is my first time ever doing this. So let's hope I do it okay. And maybe Laura and Erica can help me out here, and Erin from members of our committee and just how to do this. But we are doing our first reading, I believe, of our new policy.
Charge.
Charge. Our new charge.
charge.
Our new committee charge. And the big picture is that when we formed this committee last year, we were focused on advocacy. We didn't talk about outreach. But over the course of this year, we've understood that these two things go together. And we'd like to be more strategic around our engagement with constituents, stakeholders across our district. And that includes elected leaders, community members, anybody that may have maybe a good partner for us to be moving forward on our goals in many ways. And so great gratitude to Laura for taking on the revisions to our charge to include outreach as a primary charge and goal for us. And if you look at the charge that's in your packet, Don't be deceived by the language that's redlined and blue. This is a second draft of our changes to the charge. So I'm just going to note for you some of the big picture changes. Am I still on track, Laura? Everything sounding correct to you?
Yeah.
I will continue. So if you look at the first paragraph there, we did have our goal of A, of devising and implementing strategies to achieve board advocacy goals. And we have a B now, devising and implementing strategies to achieve board outreach goals. In our second paragraph here, you'll see we're establishing goals in alignment with what the board would like to see us be working on in this committee. And similarly, the board will establish outreach goals. As it may elect, and such goals are likely to include engaging with students and other college and community groups to solicit feedback, identify opportunities, and inform board policy and other decision making. As you roll down, we had originally considered whether or not we would have some timing related to outreach priority setting, but we decided to pull that from the charge, and so you'll see some red line there. And Laura and Erin, do you have anything that you would like to add to my notes of the changes to this charge?
No, I thought you covered it. No, great job. And I think it's all pretty consistent with what we talked about at the board too. I mean, but they charged us to write the charge. Charge for the charge.
So with that, I suppose I would turn it over to you, Erica, to help us move through our first reading.
Yeah, cause I kind of skipped ahead in the agenda, which I think let's in honor of just going down, let's do the other two updates and then we can come back. Maybe they'll give people a minute to also look.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. This is part of the update. So great job, Erin.
There we go.
Erin, do you want to offer any other updates? Maybe just simply that we were going to meet earlier this week and now we're going to meet later this week. And so we'll have, not to speak for you, Erin, but I don't know if you have an additional update for the board.
Yes, our hope is to bring you a draft plan of our outreach and advocacy and outreach goals that are in alignment with the conversations we had at our retreat. We don't have formal board goals yet, but we I think, can sense from many of our priorities what a draft might be. And so when we get together this Friday at 1 p.m., we will talk through what that skeleton of a plan might look like. And I believe we'll be bringing this either back at our next meeting or inviting some feedback in the meantime. And our hope is to adopt a kind of a formal plan for the year that includes goals for this committee in alignment with board goals, probably no later than November, so that we can be engaging in anything coming up with the short session and moving forward on some of our bigger picture topics this year, which might include expanding our advocacy capacity by developing an advocacy team on the campus that's trained to show up and have a voice around some of the issues that may come out of the woodwork for us, and a few other priorities we discussed at our retreat. So looking forward to bringing more in the coming couple of meetings.
Erin, can I just tell you for the good of the order that even though I'm not on the advocacy committee anymore, I still reached out to Vicky and Mike McLean. I'll get back to you when I've got that settled. But anyway, I just want to close the loop on that piece because I know them both, so it seemed like logical.
Thank you so much. And Laura notes that she's been touching base with elected leaders. We will be working through that through connections with elected leaders this fall and hoping to have folks join us on campus where we can offer tours and share some of our talking points around what really matters to us right now in state and federal contexts. Anything to add? Anybody else?
No, I'm looking forward to the meeting on Friday.
Yeah,
Thank you for rescheduling.
of course.
Okay, so next up, Audit and Finance Committee, are there any updates on?
So in July, the Audit and Finance Committee met. We met with our auditors, Price and Frunk. They've expanded their team to bigger. And the audit is moving forward. And Michael, how's the audit
Going
doing?
smoothly so far. Yeah, we plan to get it done by November. So we can get it to the state by the deadline in January and not have to work through Christmas. Like we have in the past, but it's going smoothly.
Which one of the things we really asked them is get the report in earlier than New Year's night Eve. Because it doesn't give us time to really work well.
Or getting it in email like the day before the meeting.
And they covered what they're going to test and their normal procedures and all of that.
Okay, thank you, Alan. And then Policy Review Committee.
So I thought I had like 2 changes to make, but it turns out I have more. I'm like sitting here with the policy. We have updated the policy on the role of the chair and the vice chair, and it includes an update on the factors to be considered when we are deciding on our leadership for each new year. And we are also, so that one I think will come before the board at the next meeting, because at our next policy review committee meeting, I think we're hoping to finalize it. And then after that, another policy that we're working on updating is communication among board members and with the president. And Greg's actually assisting us with that on the component of communication with the president, because we thought that getting his perspective might be helpful. So we're working on updating that policy as well. And then we had 1 or 2 other things that came from the retreat that we would work on. And we're hoping to get back to trying to be systematic about going through all of the policies over the next 3 years or so that everything gets reviewed regularly. So that we don't forget about them or get them to be out of sync with how we do things, because we shouldn't be that way. So that's.
Yeah, we should be evolving in some ways, and we should be adjusting the policies as we evolve. Yes. Excellent, thank you. Okay, so now Erin Footmorgan, we're on recommended changes to the advocacy, there we go, committee charge first reading. So you gave a very good introduction and kind of dive into it. Is there any more discussion that we'd like to have about this? Or suggestions?
So we're gonna be setting policy with advocacy and outreach, and then that's gonna turn into work items for staff and
I'm
students.
not setting policy.
Well, charge,
setting-
okay, a charge.
Okay,
Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, that's okay.
I just can't get stuck on that. That's what we do as policy, and it's like, we can do charges too.
I don't, Erin, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, we're really grateful that both Greg and Lucas are on this committee, and they are in the best position to understand what is appropriate for staff to take on in terms of this work. Lucas is our campus advocacy coordinator, so this kind of work is a portion of his role. But it really matters to us that we're collaborating with Lucas and Greg on any work that comes out of this, any work planning, and that's certainly not our role of this committee. But if, for instance, and we're setting up patterns of conversation right now where Lucas is often the one to bring us information from the conversations he's a part of at Oregon Community College Association, and Greg is helping us think about things at the federal level. So this is a very collaborative group, and really looking to both of them for understanding of what's possible in terms of steps. And it's just really well known to all of us on the committee that we're not in a position to be directing staff. We're discussing what kinds of positions we may want to bring to the board for review. And in many cases, those positions are likely to be closely aligned with ACCT and OCCA. Does that help answer your question, Alan? And is there a concern we should just make sure we talk about here?
No, I was just trying to figure out the flow of things, you know, it's like, I like what you're saying, and it's, there's just a lot of work when you're dealing with a legislative session, there's a lot of work with, that you want to develop to put forward for community college day and then have something to present. And really kind of one of the most important parts is to make sure we got students lined up to really have conversations in Salem, because that's what they like the most.
It's almost though, I mean, there's like two things. There's the activities of the college and then there's the board. And this committee is less about that and more about the board advocating for the college. And so what a lot of what we've spent our time over the last year doing has been trying to figure out how can we make an impact in sort of educating our legislators, educating the community, educating ourselves on the concerns of the community, our students and such. And so, you know, the stuff that the college has always done, the college will continue to do, but we have a unique voice as a board. And if the legislators and community leaders know who we are, what we need, and they think about us when issues relate to the college, then they're more likely to come to us. And so I think that's more our focus than us worrying about college day in Salem. I mean, we certainly know, we tell each other, we're like, oh, someone want to go and that kind of stuff, but that's more of a college operations thing and less of us. What we're trying to do is figure out ways that we as a board can advocate for the college in a way that will sort of leverage our skills, our experience, and you know, our ability to get out in the community, which is why we're doing things like trying to have the legislators come on campus during the year and see what we do and get to know us when we're not asking them for something specifically. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that kind of? Yeah.
Good. I can add to that just from the CAC side too, if it's helpful, Alan. So the community advocacy coordinators, we meet once a month with OCCA, and we go over a lot of the hot topics and agendas that are being pushed forward at the legislators and such when it comes to that. And they have a lot of tools and toolkits that they share with us that we can then kind of disseminate to whether it's student government or individuals or others or faculty on campus or whatnot, and we kind of help advocate for that side of it. So there's that aspect too, in that network.
Great. No, I'm excited. Glad we're engaged.
Okay. Thank you all. So, of course, this is a first reading, and per our policy, we do a first reading and then a second reading for good. So, and we didn't have any substantial changes requested to this, so we'll move on. Next up on the agenda, there's the board committee appointments. So those are included in the packet. Thank you all for sharing with me your requests, and Jim and I met and we tried to meet the requests the best we could, and we feel pretty good about them. Is there any questions or comments related to these?
I just like to think board members were a little stalled getting it through because things going on. Somebody got COVID. I mean,
Oh, you're gonna blame it on me.
but we were slow getting back together. After about 6
I was
months.
thinking, Jim, wow, you feel well.
It was also myself.
Okay, thank you.
Everything.
Yeah. As you know, coming at the end of the summer into the school year, things just get busy. So yes, thank you all for your patience, and hopefully you all have a great time as part of these committees this year. Yes.
Make it good.
Make it good. Mhm. I do feel like we have some good momentum in a number of places. We have board members who have been on some committees for a longer period of time and are able to, they have a plan and they're making changes, so I feel good about it. Okay, so next up we have board member activities. I think we can start with Erin Foot-Morgan.
Yes, well, the last time that we met was in July. We then held an advocacy committee meeting on Friday, August 1st. And then it was a pretty darn quiet August. But Greg and I did meet with Representative Janelle Bynum's staff on Monday, August 11, and had a great discussion with them. And then from there, really I had a brief call with Greg on September 5th regarding the Student Success Committee and just thinking a little bit about priorities this year. And then we had the retreat on September 6th. I also was very grateful to attend the welcoming event for Greg last night at Anthony's, which was hosted by our friends at William Smith Properties in the Old Mill. It was an exceptional reception and very grateful for all the folks that showed up to meet Greg, and it was just a great indication of just how embedded this our work is throughout the entire region. So thank you to William Smith Properties for that wonderful reception. I was glad to be there.
Thank you, Erin. Laura?
So I had a call with Michael about the appraisal process that we've been doing with the real estate committee on the 31st of July. I had another call with Michael on August 28th. On the 26th of August, I got this really cool experience. I got a last minute invite to attend a dinner with the leadership of OPD. They have been doing, the CEO and a couple of senior folks are doing a sort of tour of the more rural parts of Oregon because they're looking for ways to expand their coverage outside of just the Portland and, Southwest Washington area. And so I was asked to be there to represent COCC because their focus was particularly healthcare and education. Those were their two focuses. And so Seth Crawford was setting it up, one of the community or the county commissioners in Cook County. And so he asked me to attend, and that was really cool because we got to talk about some of the cool stuff that we're doing with them. And then on September 2nd, I had a Zoom with Greg because I wanted to ask him a bunch of questions. So I wanted one-on-one. And then on the 9th, I went to the whiskey reception last night, like Erin did. I also attended the retreat. And honestly, I can't remember if I went to the advocacy committee meeting on August 1st or not, but I'm sure that Kyle knows. So anyway, that's what I got.
You did.
Okay, then I was there.
Yeah.
I just forgot to write it down. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Alan.
So I'm doing July, August, and September. July 11th was an audit committee meeting. July 13th was a policy meeting. August 13th was another policy meeting. September 6th was the board retreat, and September 9th was the meet and greet for President Greg.
Thank you, Alan. Erin?
Yeah, on August 1st, I attended the advocacy committee meeting and I had a one-on-one with Greg. On September 6th, I attended the retreat. On September 9th, I also attended the welcome reception for Greg. And one thing, I just realized we didn't mention from the advocacy committee, one point of conversation we've been having, and it's related to outreach and just what us as board members attend different college events. And so maybe we pin that for a later meeting, but just to get a little more coordinated, so we all know which events we're attending. So in the spirit of that, I intend on October 2nd to attend the Chandler Lecture Series, the first event. It's a wildlife photographer down at the Howard Beaver. So.
Ooh, exciting.
That's a really great point to bring up, Erin, because we've heard from several folks that it's really nice to see board members at events. I mean, we're all really busy, but we sign up because we care, and it's nice to show people that we really do. And So when we can go to events like commencement and general lectures, it's pretty cool. So I think the advocacy committee is gonna encourage us to attend more as time goes on.
And just report out just in advance, so we're just sort of all aware if we wanna divide events or just highlight important events for us to be at, to not assume that someone else will be there. That's it, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Jim?
Yeah, but on the first, I was assuming the grade.
Mhm.
I don't know where the month went. That was August.
So you go back to July for these, because we didn't have an August meeting.
Yeah. And, you and I met in the second. Talked about the retreat, form that up, and of course, on the retreat, we've talked a couple times since then, but. Yeah.
I have like, I have like more than 30 calls that I've made, so I'm just gonna give those to Kyle. And I have dates that
Yeah.
when we talked and so I can just, yeah, I can go with those. Yeah. So I do. Do you have anything else you wanna?
No,
Okay, okay, good.
hold on your list.
Okay, yes. So I was going through, so I have like more than, I'll give those to you, so I think it's, yeah, at least 30 calls, different calls. And then, let's see, the 23rd, I attended the policy committee. The 23rd of July, the 13th, also the policy committee. And the second.
Oh, I
I
would have been at
mentioned-
both of those.
Yes, you did those. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then the retreat on the 6th, and then I'll just give you the rest of it, Kyle.
If you don't write it down, it doesn't feel as overwhelming.
Is is that like a heuristic trick, or is that denial? I don't know. Either way.
It's all the same, right?
Okay, thank you, everyone. So next up on the agenda, we have the president's report.
All right, thank you all. I've heard my name called so many times, it's like, it's surreal.
Or the president.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you to everyone who did attend the welcome reception yesterday in the William Smith Properties and Anthony's. It was a very gracious opportunity to attend and great to meet so many people in the community, so thank you all for that. Thank you, Zach, for helping coordinate that on our end. A couple of exciting things going on that I just want to share real quick. First of all, is an enrollment update for what we're looking at for fall. Point in time data is always a little bit interesting because sometimes you do activities and you do it a slightly different date later on, so bear with us on that. But as of Monday, which was 18 days before the start of the fall term, we were looking at a 5.3% increase in head count, 2.5% increase in FTEs, so we can get our calculators ready to figure that out. Yeah, that's good. But overall numbers are trending up. And we have a few other activities this week that should impact that as well. I know just tomorrow I'm going to Bobcat Advising and Registration to meet with some of the new students coming in, and so that'll impact our numbers as well.
After years of downward, it's nice to have upward.
Yes, well, I always knock on wood until we're there, but you would rather be up than down in point in time data, and I'm feeling pretty good about it, so that's really good to see. I also had the opportunity to take part in getting a better understanding of the Redmond welding and CNC participation. So the team invited me out and put me in the booth to learn how to do these things. And I will say, well, our faculty are amazing because if you can teach me, you can teach anyone. So, yeah, I got 2 weld lines and I was told one of them was pretty good.
That's high praise.
That's high praise, so, but just being able to experience what our students do and seeing our faculty, I want to give so much credit to the Redmond team, to Cindy, to Amy, the faculty that we've hired. It's really exciting, and they are an energetic group. They get you so excited about doing it. It's really good to see, so fun to take part and fun to get a better understanding of. The other thing we had just this week was the Traditional Healthcare Workers Summit. We hosted that just yesterday, and that was a great opportunity to host traditional healthcare workers here in Redmond. Sarah Barron helped coordinate that for the college. Amy and her team were certainly integral in that. And it was just a wonderful event. We got a lot of praise from those traditional healthcare workers for COCC being at the table, supporting the work they do in our ongoing trainings. We did our college-wide kickoff today. Thank you for everyone that was involved in that. It was great energy. Wonderful to see so many people on campus, staff and faculty, and I think we're looking forward to a really good year. So thank you all for that. And then finally, it's our season of new orientations. So we had new faculty orientation yesterday. And Anne Marie and team did a great job on that. It was wonderful to meet our new faculty coming in. A lot of excitement, a lot of really good qualified individuals. Like I said, advising and registration tomorrow, new student orientation next week, and we jump into dorm move-ins. 'Tis the season, so good stuff, but overall, happy to report it's an exciting time at COCC and that energy on campus is infectious. So it's been really good.
Not infected.
Not infected, infectious.
I don't know, there's a lot of COVID going around.
Oh, boy.
Well, wonderful. It is a really exciting time of the year. Diving right in. Okay, so, last on the agenda before we go into executive session, we have some dates. So Thursday, September 18th, we have the Wiki Up Hall move-in from 8:30 to 4:30. September 29th for October 5th is the week without driving campaign, as a reminder to all of us. Tuesday, September 30th, there's the COCC Foundation's Feast at the Old Mill fundraiser. So it's at Anthony's down in the Old Mill.
It is sold out and there's a wait list, so
Okay.
if you wanna go, talk to me and good luck.
Talk to me and good luck.
That's wonderful for it to be sold out. Not for people who wanna get in.
I know,
Yes.
it's a good problem to have again.
Yes. Wednesday, October 10th, we have our next
Location's a typo, isn't it?
board of directors meeting. Yes, so it is a typo. Because we will be in
I see.
at Lapine High School.
And Madam Chair, that should be the eighth, Wednesday is the eighth,
It says 10.
that's a Friday.
Oh, that's just carryover probably from last
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Okay, so we have some adjustments to make. Thank you for that.
That's to Alicia let me know. Laura let Alicia.
We have some good proofreaders, is that?
It's a long story.
It's-
I didn't know where we were going tonight, so.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so now we will go into executive session, so I will read this. Then, is everybody staying or? Staying, great. Cindy, okay, so thank you so much, Cindy and Amy.
Yeah.
Thank you, yeah, wonderful presentation. We look forward to starting the new building,
Yeah.
seeing the new building,
Yeah.
moving the
Us too.
equipment without breaking it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Erica, do you have your script?
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
good.
The COCC Board of Directors will now meet in executive session for the purpose of ORS 192.660, section 2, subsection D, labor negotiations, and ORS 192.660, section 2, subsection F, to consider information or records that are exempt by law for public inspection. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the sessions previously announced. At the end of the executive session, we will return to open session and welcome the audience back into the boardroom.